Hi, welcome back to my channel. This is Jennifer Scrapping Kane. Today I'm sharing another double page sketch for 30 Days of Sketches with Christy's Beautiful Life. Today's sketch is by Rebecca Lockhart, and my layout is probably not going to look like her sketch, but I did take inspiration from her sketch, and I will explain that as I get started on the layout. But here I'm going to show you what I have to work with today. I have 3 photos of my son, my niece, and my nephew playing doctor. And these kind of sort of go along with yesterday's layout, except for it's a year later. And the following year, he was still playing with the doctor kit that he wanted for Halloween the year before. So it was money well spent. I have some band-aids from Shandy's Etsy shop along with some more wood veneer. This is some of the wood veneer that didn't get on yesterday's layout. Not all of it will get used today either. I'm just going to pick out a couple of pieces. Those larger ones are from P13. Those don't make it on the layout either. This is a simple stories layout, or sorry, collection. And I'm going to use quite a few of the foam pieces along with the sticker sheet that all goes together. So Spooktacular, and then I'm going to bring over a couple more that I forgot to bring over. Tricks and Treats actually doesn't make it on this layout, but the Boo I end up using, and I believe that's it of the foam letters off of that one. This one here is a different Simple Stories collection, and I'm going to use the Boo off of that one, which is here in my hand. Fabulous does not make it on the layout. And then I will also use a couple of the stars that were on that foam sticker sheet. This here is chipboard pieces. Eek. I will use the Little Goblins label, which is the orange label, actually gets lost on my desk. You'll see me find it at the end when I'm done. But I wanted to use some of the stickers, the Little Mummy, the Haunted House, the word Boo. I was going to use off the sticker sheet. I end up going with a different Boo in the end. But this is the planning stage. This is what I do usually is I start with my photos, then I start picking embellishments, and then I pick papers. I know a lot of people pick the papers first and then try to find photos and then try to find embellishments, but I find it kind of hard to do it that way because I just love the embellishments and I love the photos most of all. So I always start with my pictures first, then embellishments, and then paper. And these tickets, quite a few of these are going to get used on the layout. The other ones that I have left, hopefully I can get onto a different layout. Um, this here is a scrap of the green paper that I said I wanted to use for this photos because my nephew's shirt is green. And then I love this little card here, and it does make it on the layout. And it says, "A candy a day keeps the monsters away." And I thought it was kind of cute since, they're playing doctor. And this little star paper, which is from Bella Boulevard, I loved the yellow background, and it actually matches the photos, and it makes the stethoscope pop off the layout since it's yellow. This little skeleton paper I thought I was going to use. It actually doesn't make an appearance on the layout, but it's really cute. I really want to get it on the layout, but it does not make it onto this layout. Um, Here I'm going to get started on the layout in just a minute. And I already did the left side, hoping that, it'd be easy to show you how I put it together. I'm going to make a mistake. I'll show you that mistake in just a moment. But I made sure I cut the pumpkin paper. It has tone-on-tone pumpkins on the orange paper. And I made sure that I cut the pumpkins so that I could line them back up together. And then the star paper, I have it also so that I can line it up where it won't be so noticeable that it doesn't totally line up correctly. But it's not noticeable if I lay it correctly. This is where I make my mistake, and you'll see it here in a minute. I'm going to go ahead and lay down the gray banner, and then, so this was kind of taken from the sketch. On the right hand side, she has 2 pieces of paper as the background. I rotated her sketch because my photos are going to go across the middle, kind of like how the left hand side you saw it was stuck to the glass mat. That's because I laid it down incorrectly. So of course I have to pull it up and then lay it back down again. Wouldn't be my layout if I wasn't peeling papers off and re-putting them back on, but I'm going to lay it down correctly here this time. Anyways, so I did pull the two pieces of paper that she had in the background, and then I just added the gray banner in between. That was just something that I wanted to add, kind of giving a shelf for my photos to lay on. And then she has the three photos on the left hand side stacked up. But since my photos are portrait photos, I needed it to go the other way. So I just flipped it, and then the three photos are going to get a green mat on them. And then the middle one, the candy, a candy a day keeps the monsters away card, is going to actually get a black mat. So here I'm just showing you that I'm cutting, basically they're 1/2 inch strips because I do not have enough of that green paper to mat all three photos. But I do if I cut it into strips, and then of course I'm inking them up. I will ink up everything with black ink. So if I don't show it, just know that, everything on the layout is inked up with black ink. But here I'm going to show you how I do one of the photos, and then I'll kind of just skip ahead. And basically, if you guys have watched any of my other layouts, you've seen me do this before. I find this is one way to stretch your paper, but it's also one way to use your paper if you don't have enough to mat all your photos and you want it in the same color, or you only have a scrap left. You can do it also with that. So I'm going to get all three of these matted with the green paper, and then I believe I'll show doing the black one, maybe. I didn't think I left all of this in there, but I did ink them up, and then I'm going to go ahead and make sure they're the same size. So that's why I'm laying them next to each other. I want them to definitely, be the same. And since I'm piecing it together, I have to make sure that I'm laying it straight, and then also making sure that they're the same size, because they are going to lay across the layout. And the one photo of the two boys without my niece is actually a little bit smaller in width, not in height. And that was just because the two boys were playing first, and then my niece Mariah came downstairs and she started playing with them. And I just thought it was so cute that, they were playing together, and I took photos of them, of course. My sister and I basically used to share a house when our kids were younger. And our kids, her three and my single oldest son, since my youngest son wasn't born yet, pretty much grew up as siblings. They're pretty close in age. And my son is actually kind of in between her two youngest, or I guess her two youngest in this photo. She has another son that's actually younger than the son that's in the photo, but he didn't come along until a few years later. So here, there I have the mats all done, and I have it laid out kind of sort of how it's going to go. At first I was playing with the embellishments to see how I was going to lay it out, and then it's actually going to be the next day when I finish the layout. That's usually what happens, especially if it's during the week. I work and I have to cook dinner, take my son to karate. I've got lots of other stuff to do besides scrapbook, but I always love to scrapbook. So usually late at night before I go to bed, I get in at least like an hour worth of just playtime. And that's what I was doing here was, matting my photos, finishing up the base of the layout, and then deciding how I was going to lay out the embellishments on the layout. But I'm not going to glue anything down until I come back the next day, and then that's when I'm going to decide I'm going to add in the tags. So here I'm adding play foam to the haunted house, which is kind of going to represent my haunted hospital. I, kind of totally played up the whole doctor, haunted theme, because it's definitely around Halloween. The pictures were taken, I think October 23rd is what the date is on the photos. And you can see if you look closely to my son's wrist, he's the little boy in blue, and he has a little wristband on that's beads, and they're orange, black, and white. And he made that at daycare. So I definitely know these photos are from, Halloween time. But the Halloween the following year after he was a doctor. So he played up the doctor thing for a couple of years. Like that was he just loved giving shots. He thought it was so funny. I even have photos of him at daycare. That was what he wanted to take for show and tell was the shot so that he could give the kids shots at school. I don't know why he was so obsessed with the shots, but he loved to give shots. So here I'm just playing with the embellishments. I have some of the wood veneer pieces. I'm going to use the little pill bottle, the little person that's a nurse, and she's holding a needle. That was the only piece I had left with a needle. I didn't have any of the acrylic pieces or the other needles left since I used them on yesterday's layout. And then here is the next day. You can see I have the tags already down on the right hand side, and I have band-aids at the top of the photos, just kind of representing like a little clip, I guess, holding the photos, but it's a band-aid. And then I'm going to tuck tags in at the top, the little skeleton one, this one here with the pumpkin and the bat. And basically that was to add a little bit more color. I could have left it the way that it was, but it would have been very yellow and very orange at the bottom and the top. So adding in the tags adds a little bit more color. Basically the black, and then the pink. It's like the pink is behind the background on the jack-o'-lantern at the top. And then I'm going to also add pink down at the bottom. But here I'm adding Spooktacular, and then I brought in some alphas from Pink Fresh that are blue. They match my son's shirt, and so it's going to be Spooktacular fun. And then I put the little wood veneer nurse over the tag there. I'm not going to add any string to any of the tags. I'm going to cover the holes with embellishments. So here's the little haunted hospital, and I put it a little bit too far to the left. I'm going to have to move it over. And I wanted to put the little doctor bag over here on this side, and that's just going to give 3 wood veneer pieces around the layout. There's not really clusters per se because there's embellishments all across the top and all across the bottom. But it definitely is balanced by color. So I have the black haunted house down here, and then I have the Spooktacular up top. And then I'll come back down and I'll put Boo, which is going to be in black. And then the little candy corn tag that's black also. So it adds balance. Not sure, like how I come up with those ideas, but it's just something that I see with my eye as I'm designing. So here I'm doing the plaid tag here, which is a mix of the colors, and it has orange, black, and white. And then I want part of it to cross over the tag, or sorry, over the middle of the 2 layouts. I should have did it a little bit more, but it's okay. I could have placed it just a little bit more over, but it doesn't really matter in the end. And over here, I'm going to put their names, and I'm going to use nicknames, which is Raya, Maya, and Gabe. Raya is for Mariah, and then Maya, his name is actually Jeremiah, and Gabriel, and he goes by Gabe. So I use their nicknames just to make it a little bit easier on alphas for me, but also because it fit in the space. But I'm going to put, at first I put Dr. Raya and Dr. Maya, but I'm actually going to change it to RN Raya, Dr. Maya, and Gabe. And again, that's just playing up the whole little doctor hospital thing that they were doing here and playing. And that's exactly what they were doing. As I'm going to be the doctor, you be the nurse, and Gabe's the patient. And since he was the 2-year-old, the youngest, he got, selected to be the cute little patient laying on the floor. And he's just laying there, letting them do whatever they want it to do to him. Um, I think it's actually absolutely adorable, but it cracks me up even now looking at these pictures because they're all adults now, and that is just crazy to me. But anyways, I'm gonna continue to embellish down at the bottom. I'm gonna put Boo here, which I used the foam one instead, which is the candy corn B, and then two eyeballs for the um, O's, which I think is cute. And then I'm gonna add the three little pumpkins down at the bottom, which once again I think kind of represent the three kids in the photos. And now I'm going to move back over here to the alphas because, I can't do anything just all at once. I have to go back and forth. But basically, I'm making sure that it's going to fit. I wanted to make sure I placed Boo down before it got moved over, and Raya and Maya, because I knew I was only going to have just a little bit of room between that tag and the word Boo and the other tag. So, but I ended up making it work. And I think I'm looking for an and symbol. Oh no, this is where I'm going to switch out and do RN in doctor instead. I did doctor and doctor at first, but I traded out. And I did that partly because the little wood veneer piece is a girl and she's holding the needle. And actually, my niece is the one giving the shot to her little brother. So it worked out. So here, this little tag here says Batty for candy. And I thought that was kind of cute. So I put it by Gabe's picture since, he's the patient. And it's the candy that's going to keep the monsters away. I'm just adding Gabe down at the bottom. And then I believe I'll be done with the left-hand side for now. I'm going to start adding the other Boo. So I was playing up the Boo Boo. And I just had a lot of fun creating this layout. And it was mainly just playing with Halloween items and whatever I could use that was making it doctor related, but still keeping it Halloween. So the little mummy, which I thought was cute because, if you get a boo boo, sometimes they wrap your boo boos up. So the little mummy, and then I'm going to bring in Eek and go ahead and put it down since I know that's where I want it to go. This one here that's orange says Shrieks and Screams, and I'm going to place that on the photo with the three kids that are checking Gabe out. They haven't given him his shot yet. And then over here, I'm going to place more letters that say All Better. And then the little piece that I just cut and then placed it back together, it did say Best Witches, but I took the ES off. That's where I was cutting it. And it's just going to say Best Witch because I'm going to put Best Witch Doctor. And then the very last label that I'll add says Our Little Monster. So if you read the whole layout all together, it would be spooktacular fun. RN, RN Raya, Dr. Maya, and Gabe, Boo Boo, All Better, Best Witch Doctor, Our Little Monster. And then, the Eek label, and then Shriek and Screams, and Batty for candy. And a candy a day keeps the monsters away, which, again, I just think is cute. And I like the way that the layout turned out. So here I'm just gluing down my letters and all my little embellishments. I put it's cotton candy with a little spider on it at the candy corn tag to cover up the hole. And then a little piece of candy corn, and then the little pill bottle. And then I'm going to add little Frankenstein there at the corner. And I thought he was kind of cute since he's kind of dressed like Gabe. He's green, and Gabe's little buzz cut and Frankenstein's little buzz cut. Again, just playing it up as much as I can, and I really love this layout. And so here I'm just spelling out doctor still. Can't believe it's taking me this long to put letters down. I definitely think it's sped up, but obviously not very much. But I didn't want you guys to miss anything because there was so many little details on this layout that definitely had to be told of how I came up with the idea for this layout. So I am done, or at least I think I'm done. You'll see here in a minute. I realized I didn't put the stars on the layout. And I think the stars actually complete the layout in the end. I was going to do sequence, but since I have all the tiny stars at the top, I didn't think anything tiny really needed to be on the layout. But the stars definitely just add a little bit of color, more color to the top and then down at the bottom. I'm going to put an orange one and a little black one and a little gray one, and then I will trade those ones out here in a minute, which luckily they didn't stick very well because I do peel them up here in a minute. Down here I put the black and orange star with stripes on it, and then I put a gray one and a black one. And then, actually no, there are two black ones down at the bottom. And then up here at the top, I'm going to trade out that orange one. It looked kind of funky. I don't know if I'll actually use that star when I do finish the layout. But I traded it out for a black and orange star, and then a little gray star and a black star. And you saw where I found little goblins underneath the layout. I decided it really didn't need to go on the layout. So there I am, done. I will have another layout for tomorrow. And thank you again, Rebecca Lockhart, for the sketch because it totally inspired the layout. I know I didn't follow your sketch completely, but I hope you can see how I got an idea for my design. There is a playlist down below. Like and subscribe, and I will see you guys tomorrow with another double page layout. Bye!